For as long as I can remember, the house on Steiner Street had been home. Papa and Mama had both been born in Norway, but they moved to San Francisco because Mama's sisters were here. All of us were born here. Nels, the oldest and the only boy. My sister Christine, and the littlest sister, Dagmar. It's funny, but when I look back now, I always see Nels, Christine, and myself looking almost as we do today. I guess that's because the people you see all the time stay the same age in your own head. Dagmar's different. She was always the baby, so I guess I always see her as the baby. Even Mama. It's funny, but I always see Mama as being around 40. I know she couldn't always have been 40. Aside from us, there was our boarder, Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde was an Englishman who had once been an actor, and Mama was very impressed by his flowery talk and courtly manners. He used to read to us sometimes in the evening. But first and foremost, I remember Mama. I remember that every Saturday night Mama would sit down at the kitchen table and count out the money Papa had brought home in the little envelope.
Lars, you called your children. It's good they should know about money.
Children, Nels, Christina, Catherine.
Coming, Papa!
You call loud for Catherine. She's in her study, maybe.
She is where?
Catherine make old roof on her attic in the study.
What study? Catherine.
Yes, Papa, I heard.
What does Catherine do?
I think Catherine wants to be author.
Author?
Stories she will write for magazines and books maybe one day.
Is good paid to be an author?
I don't know. I think for magazines, yes. I think for books, no.
Didn't she become writer for magazines?
Maybe. But I like she writes books, like the ones Mr. Hyde reads to us. Dagmar, you bring that cat in again.
Sure. She's my Elizabeth. My beautiful Elizabeth.
Poor Elizabeth looks like she has been in fight again.
Not poor Elizabeth, brave Elizabeth. Elizabeth's a fighting cat. She fights for her honor.
And just what is the cat's honor, little one?
Of being the bravest cat in San Francisco. Aren't you, Elizabeth? That disgusting cat. She's not disgusting. She's beautiful. Beautiful as the dawn. And when have you ever seen the dawn? Well, I haven't. But Mr. Hyde read to us about it. Didn't you, Mr. Hyde? Didn't you read to us about the dawn?
Oh, that I did, my child of joy. The dawn. The rosy-fingered tipped Aurora.
And when can I see the dawn, Mama?
Any morning you get up early enough.
Is there a dawn every morning?
Yeah, sure.
And it happens every day? And it's always this wonderful? Why didn't anyone tell me?
Oh, my dear, that's what the poets are for. Tell you all the beautiful things that happen every day, and that no one sees until they tell them. Ugh.
You go out, Mr. Hyde.
Oh, for a few moments only, my dear madam, to buy myself a bit of that tawny weed, tobacco that I lust after, as Ben Jonson says. I shall be back in time for our nightly readings.
Nels! Catherine! You do not hear your papa call?
Coming, Mama.
Yes, Mama. Over.
So now all are here.
Come then. First, for the landlord.
For the landlord.
For the landlord. The landlord.
Landlord.
For the grocer.
In all the United States, no cat was as brave as Elizabeth. In all the world, no cat was as brave as Elizabeth.
Hush, Dagmar. For Catherine's shoes to be half sold.
Catherine's shoes.
My shoes. Catherine's old shoes.
And shoes.
Mama, teacher says this week I'll need a new notebook.
How much it will be?
A dime.
Here, for the notebook. You don't lose it.
I won't lose it.
You take care when you blow your nose.
I'll take care.
Is all, Mama?
Is all for this week. Is good. We do not have to go to the bank.
Mama, I'll be graduating from grammar school next month. I was wondering, do you think I could go on to high school?
You like to go to high school?
I'd like to if you think I could.
Is good.
I've got everything I'll need written down on paper. Car fare, clothes, notebooks. I worked it all out with Cy Nichols. He went to high school last year.
Get a little bag, Christina.
The little bag. That was the most important thing in the whole house. It was a box we used to keep for emergencies, Like the time when Dagmar got croup and Papa had to get the medicine to put in the steam kettle. I can smell that medicine now. The things that came out of that little bank. Mama was always going to buy herself a warm coat out of it. Only there was never enough.
Is there enough, Mama?
Is not much in little bank right now. We give to dentist and for your roller skates.
I know. And there's your warm coat that you've been saving for.
The coat I can get another time. But even so...
You mean Nels can't go to high school?
We do not want to have to go to bank, do we?
No, Mama, no. I could work in Dylan's grocery after school.
It's not enough.
No, it's not enough.
I give up tobacco.
I'll mind the Maxwell children Friday nights. Catherine can help me.
It's good. It's enough.
Gee!
We do not have to go to the bank.
Where's the bank? Downtown. What's it look like? It's just a building. Like a prison? Nothing like a prison. Well then, why does Mom always say we don't want to go to the bank? Because nobody ever wants to go to the bank. Why not? Because if we went to the bank all the time, there'd be no money left there. And then they'd turn us out on the street because we couldn't pay our rent like Mrs. Jensen. You mean, it's like saving some of your candy for tomorrow?
Yes, my Dagmar. It's exactly like saving your candy.
But if everyone else goes to the bank, then there won't be any money left for us either.
It's not like that, Dagmar. Everyone can only have so much.
How much?
However much you've got there, put away. You see, it's our money that we put there to keep safe.
When did we put it there?
I don't know. A long time ago, I guess. Wasn't it, Mama?
It's enough about the bank.
How much money we got in the bank?
I don't know. How much, Mama?
Enough. What's the door?
It's the answer. I'm going to my boudoir. And I'm going to my study.
You cannot run away. You must be polite to the ants. Why is Trina?
Trina? And all by herself?
Say good evening to Aunt Trina, children.
Good evening, Aunt Trina.
Good evening, children. How are they all look?
You have feather boa. It's new.
It was a present.
Look, Lars, Trina has a present.
It's fine.
Jenny and Sigrid do not come with you.
I didn't tell them I was coming. I want to talk to you, Martha.
So, sit. We talk.
Could we talk alone?
Alone?
If you wouldn't mind.
Children, you leave us alone a little. I call you. Dagmar, you go with Catherine.
Oh, but Mama!
Catherine, you take Dagmar.
Yes, Mama.
Now, what is Trina?
Martha.
Yes.
No, I can't say it.
Trina, what is it?
It's something very personal.
You want Lars should go outside.
Would you mind, Lars? Just for a minute.
No, I know what women's secrets are. As your Uncle Chris says, women.
It's by night, Lars. You have your pipe. What is it?
I forget I give up tobacco.
Is still tobacco in your pouch? Then you do not give up until you have finished. You give up more tobacco. Not tobacco you already have.
It's not right, Martha.
Now, Trina, what is it?
Martha, I want to get married.
You mean you want to get married? Or there is someone you want to marry?
There is someone I want to marry.
Does he want to marry you?
He says he does.
Trina, it's wonderful.
I think it is.
Who is?
Mr. Darkison.
From the funeral parlor.
Yes, I know he's not very handsome or tall. I know it's not what most people would think a very nice profession, but
You love him, Trina? Then it's good.
Martha, will you help me to tell the others?
Jenny and Sigrid, they do not know?
I was afraid they would laugh at me, but if you tell them.
Jenny will not like you tell me first.
I can't help that. You've got to tell them not to laugh at me. If they laugh at me, I'll kill myself.
Yanni and Sigrid will not laugh. I promise you, Trina.
Thank you, Martha. And Uncle Chris.
Ah.
Will you talk to him?
Is Mr. Torkelson who must talk to Uncle Chris. Always it's head of the family who must talk to the husband.
I know, but Uncle Chris is so very frightening, and he's so big and black, and he shouts so. And Peter is, well, kind of timid, really.
But Trina, if he is to be your husband, he must learn not to be timid. You don't want husband should be timid. You are timid. It's not good when both are timid. No. Yanni and Sigrid I will talk to, but Mr. Torkelson must go to Uncle Chris.
Martha, Trina, I do not wish to interrupt your talk, but Yanni and Sigrid are coming.
Dear,
I see them get off the cable car. They are coming up the hill.
I better go to your room for a minute.
You get your coffee cups, Lars.
Wait, Jenny. Let me catch my breath. This hill kills me every time I climb it.
Oh, you climbed bigger hills than that in the old
I
country.
was a girl in the old country.
Yanni, Sigrid, it's the prize. Where's Ole?
Working. He's always working. I never see him at all anymore.
It's good to work.
It's good to see your husband once in a while, too.
Has Trina been here?
Trina,
Well, she's gone somewhere and she doesn't know anyone but you. So
that's what you think.
what do you mean by that?
Give Lars your coats. I pour you some coffee. Then we talk about Trina.
Trina has been here.
Yeah?
What did she want?
She wants to talk to me.
What about?
Marriage?
What?
Marriage. Trina wants to get married.
Well, that's no news. Of course she wants to get married. Every old maid wants to get married.
There is someone who wants to marry Trina.
Who would want to marry Trina?
Mr. Torkelson.
Peter Torkelson. Little Peter Torkelson.
Is not so little.
He's hardly bigger than my Annie, and my Annie's nearly 12.
So is hardly bigger than your Annie. Does every husband have to be big man?
Trina's making it up. That's what happens to old maids when they get to be Trina's age.
Yanni, Mr. Torkelson wants to marry Trina.
Peter Torkelson, she'd be the laughing stock.
Yanni, Trina is here. This is serious for her. You will not laugh at her.
I shall do what I please.
No, Yanni, you will not.
And why won't I?
Because I won't let you.
And what are you going to do?
If you laugh at Trina, I will tell her of time before your wedding when your husband tried to run away.
What was that?
Who told you that?
I know.
Eric tried to run away?
It's not true.
Then you do not mind if I tell Trina.
Uncle Chris told you.
Tried to run away?
Sigrid, it does not matter. Now Yanni will not laugh at Trina, nor will you. For if you laugh, I will tell her of your wedding night with Ole, when you cry all the time and he sends you back to Mater.
This I do not know.
There is no need you should know. I do not tell these stories for spite, only so that they do not laugh at Trina. Call her, Lars. You like more coffee?
Trina!
Oh, I beg your pardon. I was unaware. that-
Mr. Hyde, these are my sisters.
Oh, enchanted ladies. Madam, the three graces. You all will excuse me.
Yeah, Mr.
I
Hyde.
shall be in my room.
So that's your famous boarder. Has he paid you yet? It's been 3 months now, hasn't it?
Surely he will pay soon.
Surely he won't. If I ran my boarding house the way you run this place.
Maybe your boarders wouldn't always leave you.
If Martha thinks she's going to get that warm coat she's always talking about from that one.
Yanni, Mr. Hyde is gentleman. He reads us wonderful stories. Longfellow, Charles Dickens, Fenimore Kipling. Trina, come in, sit. The coffee gets cold. I tell them.
Why did you come to Martha first?
She thought Martha would understand.
Aren't Sigrid and I married women too?
You have been married longer than Martha. She thinks maybe you forget.
What kind of a living does Mr. Torkelson make?
I haven't asked.
Can't he keep you?
I don't think he would have asked me to marry him if he couldn't.
Maybe he thinks you're going to keep him.
Yanni,
Maybe he thinks she is a dowry, like the other girls at home.
Why shouldn't I? You all have dowries.
We were married in Norway and our parents were alive. Where would your dowry come from, I'd like to know?
Uncle Chris is the head of family.
And who would ask him?
You won't need asking. When Mr. Tuckerson goes to see him...
Uncle Chris will eat him alive.
Peter Torkelson and Uncle Chris.
Maybe Uncle Chris will tell him some family stories. He knows many, does Uncle Chris.
Aren't we going to see the children before we leave?
Of course, I'll call them. Children, your aunts are leaving.
Coming, Papa. Trina, you come with us.
I think maybe Trina likes to stay here and listen to Mr. Hyde read. You like Trina?
If I wouldn't be on the way, I asked Peter to call for me here. He'll see me home. I'll help you with the coffee thing.
Good evening, Aunt Sigrid. Good evening, Aunt Jenny. And where have you all been hiding yourselves? We've been in Christine's boudoir. Her what?
Christine make old closet into boudoir.
And what does she do there?
What people usually do in their boudoirs.
Christine, that is rude. Is her little place to herself.
Hello, Aunt Sigrid. Hello, Aunt Trina. Hello, Aunt Sigrid. Hello, Aunt Jenny.
Good evening, Nels. My, how tall he is getting.
Yes, he's taller than his papa already.
Looks to me as if he's outgrowing his own strength. Dagmar was looking pale too. Goodness, but a horrid-looking cat.
He's not. He's beautiful. Beautiful as the dawn.
Is her new best friend. She goes with Dagmar everywhere.
She does. And the next thing you know, that cat will be sleeping with her. Oh, can I, Mama? Can I? Certainly not. Don't you know that cats draw the breath from a sleeping child? You don't want to wake up one morning smothered, do you? I don't care. Elizabeth can have all my breath. Elizabeth. What a silly name for a cat.
It's a silly name for that cat. It's a Tom.
Nils, how you know?
I looked.
How can you tell?
You can.
But how?
Nils, you not say how.
So you better think up another name for him.
He's not. He's Elizabeth, and he's gonna stay Elizabeth.
We could call him Uncle Elizabeth.
Uncle Elizabeth. Do you hear, Elizabeth? You called Uncle Elizabeth now. Such foolishness. Well, goodbye, Martha. Goodbye, life.
Goodbye, Jenny.
Bye.
Goodbye, Sigrid. Nils, you go tell Mr. Hyde we are ready for our reading.
Well, I never thought we'd live to see Trina get married.
She's not married yet. She's got Uncle Chris to deal with first.
Trina, they have gone. You can come out now. Dagmar, you put Elizabeth in the pantry now.
Uncle Elizabeth?
Uncle Elizabeth. Mr. Hyde, this is my sister Trina.
Enchanted.
Mr. Hyde reads from us the Tales from Two Cities. Is beautiful story, but is sad.
I like sad stories.
Now tonight, I shall like to finish. Are we all ready?
Yes, Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde.
Let us see here. In the black prison of a concierge, the doomed of the day awaited their fate. They were in number as the weeks of the year. 52 were to roll that afternoon from the life tide of the city to the boundless everlasting sea.
I don't think I shall ever forget that night. It was nearly midnight when we came to a close, and none of us had noticed.
It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better place that I rest than I have ever known. The end.
I wrote in my diary that night before I went to bed. Tonight, Mr. Hyde finished reading us The Tale of Two Cities. The closing chapters are indeed superb. How beautiful a thing is self-sacrifice. I wish there were someone I could die for. Mr. Hyde read us all kinds of stories. He thrilled us with Treasure Island and terrified us with The Hound of Baskervilles. I can still remember the horror in his voice when he read,
Dr. Mortimer looked strangely at him for an instant, and his voice sank almost to a whisper as he said, Mr. Holmes, these are the footprints of a gigantic hound. We'll continue again tomorrow if you're all interested.
If we were interested, you couldn't have kept us from it. And it meant a lot to Mama, too, because Nell stopped going nights to hang out with the neighborhood boys at the street corner. The night they got in trouble for breaking into Mr. Dillon's store, Nels was at home with us. And sometimes, Mr. Hyde read us poetry, The Lady of the Lake, and the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
About, in wheel and rout, the death by a stand night. The water, like a witch's oil, burnt green and blue and white.
There were many nights I couldn't sleep for the way he'd set my imagination dancing. What a wonderful thing is literature, transporting us to realms unknown. And all this time, my teachers kept telling me I ought to write about things I knew. I did write a piece for them once, about Mama's Uncle Chris. Papa called Mama's Uncle Chris a black Norwegian because of his dark hair and fierce mustache. And my teacher said it wasn't very nice to write about a member of one's own family like that. But there were others who said Uncle Chris was black in a different way. The ants, for example.
Black? I'll say he's black. Black in the heart, the way he curses and swears all the time.
Martha says it's only because it hurts him to walk.
Oh, rubbish. I know all about his accident in the old country. But has anyone ever heard him complain? No. Martha's always making excuses for him.
Yes, I know, but he is good to the children. All those oranges is always sending them.
Oranges? What good is oranges? Turn them yellow. Besides, it's the only thing he's ever been known to give. He's got other uses for his money.
What you mean?
That woman.
Well, Uncle Chris says she's a fine woman.
A fine woman. She's after his money, that's all. Did you know she used to work just like a man for wages? She's not our kind. What her family was, I wouldn't say. Nothings, that's what. Do you know she doesn't even go to our church? Doesn't even go to church at all, as far as I know.
Well, I'd just like to see her once.
You must never set eyes on her. Someday I'll tell Uncle Chris just what I think of her.
You wouldn't dare.
I will, I really will. Someday I will.
Yanni, Trina, what do you think Uncle Chris has done now?
What? Tell us.
You know my Annie's knee? That fall she had 2 months ago? The man at the drugstore said it was only a bruise. But today it was hurting her again. So I left her home alone when I went to do the marketing. And I asked Mrs. Schultz next door to keep an eye on her. And who should turn up not 10 minutes after I'd gone but Uncle Chris? And what do you think?
Well, tell us if you're going to. Don't keep asking us.
He took one look at my Annie's knee, bundled her up into that rattle-trap automobile of his, and rushed her straight off to the hospital. I've just come from there. And what do you think? They've operated. They've got her plaster of Paris.
Without even asking you?
It seems the doctor was a friend of his. That's why he did it. No, this time he's gone too far to put a child of Annie's age through all that pain. They wouldn't even let me see my Annie. I'm going to tell Uncle Chris exactly what I think of him.
That's right.
I'm going to tell him right now, I will. Come with me, Annie.
Well, it's just that
You must, Yanni. We must stand together. You come to Trina and ask about your dowry. Make him give it to you.
Martha says Mr. Torkelson should do that.
Well, you go right down to the mortuary and get Mr. Torkelson. Sigrid is right. We girls have got to stick together.
Nobody knew where Uncle Chris lived. That was part of the mystery about him. He used to roam up and down the state, buying up ranches and farms that had fallen into disrepair, and bullying them back into prosperity. Then he'd sell them at a profit and move on again. 2 or 3 times a year, he'd descend on the city in his automobile and come roaring and stamping into our house.
Martha, Lars, children,
Uncle Chris!
I know.
What do we do?
Is nobody home? Hey there, is nobody home? Someone, answer the door.
So what is you do not answer the door? You do not hear me calling? I say you do not hear me calling? I do not call out enough?
Yes, Uncle Chris.
Which yes? Yes, you do not hear me, or yes, I do not call out enough?
We heard you, Uncle Chris.
And why did you not come?
We were just about to.
Let me look at you. You too, Katrina. Come, do not stand there. Come and let me look at you. Stand tall. By the cupboard, where the marks are. 2 inches. 2 inches in 6 months is good. Christina, show me your teeth. You brushed them good? Nils, there's a bag of oranges in the automobile. You fetch them in. Where is the little one? Where is Dagmar?
She's sick, Uncle Chris.
Sick. What is the matter with her?
It's her ear. She's got an earache, a bad earache. Mama had to send for the doctor.
Good doctor? What he say?
He's in there now.
I go in.
Uncle Chris,
What is with Dagmar?
is bad. Doctor, this is my uncle, Mr. Halverson.
How do you do, sir?
What is with the child?
We have to get her to a hospital at once. We'll have to operate.
Operate?
I'm afraid so.
Can wait until my husband come home.
I'm afraid not. Her best chance is for us to operate immediately.
We go.
What is with the child?
I'm afraid it's a mastoid.
Ah, then you operate immediately.
That's what I said.
Immediately!
Doctor, is enough?
Oh, I was thinking of the county hospital.
No, we pay. Is enough?
If there isn't enough, we can go to the bank. We've got a bank account.
Is enough without we go to the bank, doctor. My husband is carpenter, make good money.
If there is need of money, I pay.
It's all right. We'll take her to the clinic. You pay what you can afford.
Good. I have a patient there already. My niece, Annie. They operate this morning on her knee.
Are you a physician, sir?
I am better physician than most doctors. Nils, my nephew, he become doctor when he grow up.
Oh, indeed. Very interesting. Well then, if you'll have the child in the clinic in, shall we say, an hour's time?
The child will be at the clinic in 10 minutes' time. I have my automobile.
I can hardly make arrangements in 10 minutes.
I make arrangements. I know doctors.
Uncle Chris, Dr. Janssen is fine doctor.
Thank you, madam.
Doctor, you go to hospital now, we come.
Very well. And don't worry about Dagmar. She'll be well taken care of. I promise you. I'll do the operation myself.
I watch.
You will do no such thing, sir.
I always watch operations. I am head of family.
I allow no one to watch my operations.
Are so bad?
Mrs. Hanson, if I am to undertake this operation and the care of your child, it must be under the strict understanding that this gentleman does not come near either me or my patient.
I will talk to him, doctor. Please, you go now.
Very well. But remember, nowhere near me or I withdraw from this case.
I go see Dagmar.
Wait, Uncle Chris. Is kind of you, but Dagmar is sick and you frighten her.
I frighten her?
You frighten everyone.
I?
Everyone but me. Even the girls. Jenny, Sigrid, Trina.
The girls. Women.
The children too. So Nils and I get Dagmar. We take her to hospital in your automobile, but you do not frighten her. And you stay away from Dr. Janssen. He's good doctor. Nils, come, you carry Dagmar.
It's true? I frighten you? You are frightened of me? Katrina, Christina, I ask you, you are frightened of me?
Yes, Uncle Chris.
And you, Christina?
A little, Uncle Chris.
But Nils is boy, he is not frightened.
Not as much as we are.
But he is frightened.
Yes, Uncle Chris.
But why? What is there to be frightened of? I am your Uncle Chris, why do I frighten you?
I don't know.
But that is bad. Very bad. The aunts, yes, I like to frighten them. That makes you laugh. You do not like the ants. Come, you do not like the ants, tell me.
Not very much, Uncle Chris.
And which one do you not like the most? Yenny, Sigrid, Trina? Tell me.
I think I like Aunt Jenny the least. She's so bossy. And I like Aunt Sigrid the least. She's always whining and complaining.
It's good. Yenny, bossy, Sigrid, whining is true. But your mama, she is different. And she cook good. The aunts, they cannot cook at all. Only you do not tell your mama we have talked of them so. It is secret for us. Then you cannot be frightened of me anymore when we have secret. I tell you my secret too. I do not like the aunts. And so it do not bother me. I frighten them and shout at them. You I do not shout at if you're good children. And brush your teeth good, then eat your oranges.
You're not frightened anymore, Uncle Chris.
It's good.
Not at all.
Yanni, do you see that woman standing over there?
How shameful.
That was a bow.
Bow to a woman we don't even want to know? No, we cut her. We do not talk to her. I'll show you.
Uncle Chris, Sigrid has something to say to you.
Uncle Chris, you took my Annie to the hospital?
Yes, I took Annie to the hospital, and now we take Dagmar to hospital, so you get out of here and do not clutter up the place.
Yanni, we better go.
No, I've had enough of these high-handed going-ons.
Yenny, you are bossy old fool and you get out of here.
No, you're going to hear me out, Uncle Chris. That is, you're going to hear Sigrid out.
If you do not get out of the way of the door, before I count to 3, I throw you out. And Sigrid too, as big as she is. 1, 2.
It's good. You got the good news?
Sure, Uncle Chris. You put her in car.
Uncle Chris! I want to introduce Mr. Darker's son.
Yenny, Sigrid, we go to hospital now. You will be good children till Mama come back.
Yes, Mama.
There's milk and fruit for your lunches.
Don't worry, Mama. We'll be all right.
I go now. I come. Martha. But
You can't go in his automobile.
why not?
Martha, we go!
I come!
Because she's in it. That woman.
So, it will kill me or Dagmar to sit in automobile with her? I have seen her. She looks nice woman. I go now.
We go!
Is that woman his wife?
Well, we don't like to think of her as that, but I suppose, yes.
Yes?
We just don't consider her one of the family at all.
Girls, don't stand there gaping like that. Go away, go away. Oh, they've gone. Sigrid, we follow. You lead. How long have they been gone now?
About 3 hours. And I wish you wouldn't keep asking that.
Well, how long do operations take? I heard Aunt Sigrid telling about Mrs. Bergman, who was 5 hours on the table.
Aunt Sigrid's friends always have everything worse than everybody else. It gets worse each time they tell it, too.
The house feels lonesome, doesn't it? Without Mama here? It's like in a story. The sisters sat huddled in the empty house, awaiting the verdict that was to spell life or death to the little family.
Don't talk such nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
It is, too. For one thing, we're not a little family, we're a big one. And who said anything about life or death anyway? Always trying to make everything so dramatic.
Well, it is dramatic.
It is not. It's, well, worrying. But you don't need to make a tragedy out of it.
You didn't eat anything.
I know that.
Weren't you hungry?
No, and you wouldn't have been either if you had any feeling for Mama and Dagmar, instead of just sitting there heartlessly and making a story out of it.
Oh, Chris, I'm not heartless. I can't help it if it all goes into words like that. Everything always does with me. But it doesn't mean I don't feel for them. I do. And I think we should go down to the kitchen and get something to eat. I think Mama would want us to.
You don't understand English? No visitors for 24 hours!
But you've seen her!
I am not visitor. I am exception.
Well then, her mother should be an exception too. I'm going to see the doctor.
I have talked to doctors. I have told them you are not good for Annie.
Not good for my own daughter?
Not good at all. You cry all over her. I go now.
Uncle Chris! Uncle Chris, I must speak to you.
I'm busy.
No! Wait. I want to get married.
Well then, get married.
No. I want to marry Mr. Torkelson here. Peter says Uncle Chris, Mr. Torkelson.
Sorry, sir. Busy.
Uncle Chris, please.
What? You want to get married? Well then get married. If you want to be a fool, I cannot stop you.
Then you give your permission?
Yes, I give my permission.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Chris.
So, is all?
Yes. No?
No?
Well, you see, Trina mentioned that it was always customary in the old country. Well, we are all from the old country.
What is it? What you want?
It's a question of Trina's, not to mince matters, her dowry.
Her what?
A dowry?
So, Trina wants a dowry. She's 42 years old, and there's not enough she gets husband. She must have dowry.
Please, would you mind going and discussing your family matters somewhere else? This is a hospital, not a marriage bureau.
You come into waiting room. We talk more of dowry.
Martha, did you hear that?
What?
Uncle Chris.
Oh, no, I do not listen. I wait for doctor. It's 2 hours since they take Dagmar to operating room. More.
Ha! That's nothing. Then Mrs. Bergman had a gallbladder removed. She was 6 hours on the table.
Sigrid, I do not want to hear about Mrs. Bergman's gallbladder. I do not want to hear about anything. I wait for Dagmar. Please, you go now. You come again this evening.
Oh, but Martha, you can't with him all by yourself.
I have news with me. Please, you go now.
We go.
Trina, we go to coffee shop next door.
Sigrid, you have money?
Yeah, I have a little.
Good, I pay. We'll be next door if you want us, Martha.
Mama, the doctor's coming. Oh, Mrs. Hanson.
Doctor.
Well, Dagmar's fine. She came through it beautifully. She's back in bed now, sleeping off the anesthetic.
Oh, thank you, doctor.
Thank you. You are very welcome.
I go see her now.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that's against the rules. You shall see her tomorrow.
Tomorrow? But doctor, she is so little. When she wakes, she will be frightened.
The nurse will take care of her. Excellent care. You needn't worry. You see, for the first 24 hours, patients are not allowed to have visitors. The wards must be kept quiet.
Oh, I will not make a sound.
I'm sorry. Tomorrow. And now, good afternoon.
Come, we go find Dagmar. You tell me, please, where I can find my daughter?
What name?
Dagmar.
Dagmar Hanson.
Who are they along there? Oh, wait just a moment. When did she come in?
This morning. They just finished operating.
Oh, well, then I'm afraid you can't see her. No visitors for the first 24 hours.
am not visitor. I am her mama.
I'm sorry, but it's against the rules.
Please, just for one moment.
I'm sorry, but it's against the rules.
We must find the bay.
Mama, they'll let you see her tomorrow. They said so.
How can I know all is well with her unless I see her? What can I tell Papa when he come home from work?
The nurses will take good care of her. Would you like to go next door for some coffee?
No. We go home. We have coffee at home. But I must see Dagmar today.
Well, it comes then to this. You love my niece Trina?
Yes.
You want to marry her?
Yes, sir.
You are in a position to support her.
Yes.
Why then you want dowry? What for you want dowry?
Well, it would be a nice help. And it's customary.
It's not customary. Who gives dowry? Parents. Why? Because they're so glad they will not have to pay to support their daughters anymore. They pay money. I do not support Trina. I do not care if Trina gets married. Why then should I pay to have her married?
I never thought of it like that.
It's insult to girl to pay dowry. If I do not pay dowry, will you still marry Trina?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know? You think I let Trina marry a man who will not take her without dowry?
I guess you wouldn't.
What kind of man would that be?
Not a very nice kind of man.
Are you that kind of man?
No, I don't think I am.
Then you don't want dowry.
No, I guess I don't.
You are a good man. I like you. I give you blessing. I send you wedding present. I send you box of oranges.
Where are the girls?
They must be upstairs. Chris, Katrin!
Coming.
Mama, do you want some coffee? You said you'd have some when we got home.
No. No, first I must think.
Mama, don't worry like that. You know Dagmar will be all right.
Mama, is everything all right?
Is fine. You drink your milk, you eat your supper.
Yes, Mama.
Yes, Mama.
Is good.
Mama, something the matter?
Mama, Dagmar's not. She isn't. Oh, Mama.
No, Dagmar is fine. The doctors say she is fine. What time is it?
It's 3 o'clock.
3 hours till Papa come home.
Nels, what is it? There's something the matter.
They wouldn't let Mama see Dagmar. It's a rule of the hospital.
But Dagmar's all right.
Yes, she's all right.
Well, then,
She's just worried. She was talking to me in Norwegian in the streetcar.
Well, what can we do?
you can't do anything. When will they let her see Dagmar?
Tomorrow.
Well, then, we'll just have to wait until tomorrow.
Chris, how can you be so callous? Can't you see Mama's heart is breaking?
No, I can't. And you can't either. People's hearts just don't up and break.
They do too.
Only in books. Mama, what are you going to do?
I scrubbed the floor.
But you scrubbed it yesterday.
I scrub it again.
Mom.
Comes a time when you have to get down on your knees.
Now do you see?
Mama, please don't. Please don't.
Let's leave her alone. What is it, Mama?
I think of something. I think of something.
10,000 Swedes went through the weeds at the Battle of Copenhagen. 10,000 Swedes went through the weeds, chasing one Norwegian.
Uncle Chris!
Yes, Annie?
Uncle Chris, does it have to hurt like this?
If you want to be bad and not bark out like Uncle Chris, it does. For a little. Is bad?
It is. Kind of.
Annie, don't you know any swear words?
What?
Don't you know any swear words?
No, not real ones.
And I tell you two fine ones to use when the pain is bad are down and hell. You say them.
Now?
No, not now. When the pain comes again. You say them then. They have plenty. I know. I have pain too. I say them all the time. And if the pain is very bad, you say, damn it to hell. But only if the pain is very bad. Is bad now?
No, it's a little better.
Good. You sleep some now, maybe?
I'll try. Will you stay here, Uncle Chris?
Sure. You like I sing some more?
If you wouldn't mind. But maybe something a little quieter.
Sure. And how?
Down to hell!
Good, it helps, eh?
Yes.
Good, you sleep some now.
It's different, nurse.
But Mama...
Shh! You keep my coat and hat.
Yes, Mama.
You wait on bench for Mama.
Yes, the doctor did put that in his report. Oh, no trouble at all. Well, it's always best to double check. Good night.
Very dirty floors.
Yes, I'm glad they finally decided to clean them. Aren't you working late?
The floors need cleaning.
She waited fearful in the hall and held her bated breath. Breath. Yes, that'll rhyme with death. She waited fearful in the hall and held her bated breath. She trembled at the least footfall and kept her mind on death. Ah, God, 'twas agony to wait and watch and wonder. Wonder, under, lunder, munder, sunder. To wait and watch and wonder about her sister infant's fate, if death like bonds would sunder. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful poem. Yes, but it isn't true. Dagmar isn't dying. It's funny, it's not like I want her to die, but when Mama said she was all right, I was almost, well, disappointed. Oh, maybe Christine is right. Maybe Christine's right and I haven't a heart at all. That would make a good title for a story. The Girl Without a Heart by Katrin Hansen.
Katrina! What do you do here?
Nothing, Uncle Chris?
Where is Dagmar?
I don't know.
Where is Mama?
I think she's seeing Dagmar.
Where is Dagmar?
I don't know.
In what room is my great niece, Dagmar Hansen?
Hansen. When did she come in?
This morning.
Ah, yes. Were you wanting to see her?
What room is she in?
I asked, were you wanting to see her?
When I asked what room she is in.
We don't allow visitors the first day.
Have I said I want to visit her? I asked what room she is in.
Are you by any chance Mr. Halverson?
Christopher Halverson?
And did you say you were her uncle?
Her great uncle?
Well then, I'm afraid I can't tell you any more about her.
Why not?
Orders.
Whose orders?
Dr. Johnson's. There's a special note here. Patient's uncle, Mr. Halverson, Not to be admitted or given any information under any circumstances.
Damn it to hell!
Good night. Uncle Chris, I see Dagmar.
You see Dagmar?
Yeah, I see Dagmar. It's fine hospital, but such floors. Floors should be scrubbed with a brush. A mop is never good. You like to come home and have coffee?
But what good is coffee? I go get drink.
Uncle Chris.
Martha, you are a fine woman. Fine. But I go get drink.
His leg hurts him.
And you do not make excuses for me. I drink because I like it.
Yeah, Uncle Chris.
I like it! No, it's not true. You know it's not true. I do not like to drink at all. But I do not like to come home with you either. You have family. It's fine thing. You do not know how fine. Katrina, maybe one day you know what a fine thing family is.
But Uncle Chris, Mama always says you're the head of the family.
Sure, I'm head of family, but I have no family. So I go get drink. You understand, Martha?
Yeah, Uncle Chris. But you don't feel sorry for yourself.
10,000 Swedes Ventura Vids. Battle of Copenhagen.
Is fine man. Has fine ideas of family. Well, I am with Dagmar. She wake up. I explained the rules to her. She will not expect me again until tomorrow.
But Mama, won't you try and see her again before that?
No, that would be against the rules.